As we start to say goodbye to summer, I always get inspired by these chilly nights to make delicious dinner recipes. I'm so excited for comforting, cozy food. And I know it's different for everyone where they live, but for us, it's been around 50 to 60 degrees every night. So we're right there in that sweet spot of wanting soups, cozy food, comforting food, all the good stuff. So today I have 3 new delicious cozy dinners for you all, one of which I've wanted to make for years, and I'm so excited I finally did it. As always, the full written out recipes are on my blog. Links are in the description box down below for that. And all the ingredients are in the description box. I link anything you may need, so check out the description box because it has a lot of good stuff. I'm so excited to share these recipes with you. If you try them out, be sure to let me know because I love to hear back. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for being here, and let's go make some dinner recipes. This vegan broccoli cheddar pot pie is the ultimate marriage of pot pie and broccoli cheddar soup, and it's so good. So I'm using soy-free fava bean tofu. You can, of course, use soy tofu if you want. You can leave the tofu out and use like chickpeas or something else instead. But I wanted to use the soy-free tofu. So I'm just going to make thin little slices because I'm going to cube this. So I slice it one way and then I flip it and I slice it the other way. And then I can turn it around again one more time, and now I'll have all these little cubes that I can make. I wanted to make the little cubes so they blended in seamlessly with the pot pie. If you want to try doing it with shredded tofu, that would probably work really well too, but I wanted nice little pieces. I'm going to heat up some olive oil in my pan, and then I'm going to add in chopped garlic and chopped onion, and I'm going to let those saute for a few minutes just until everything's fragrant over a medium-low heat. And then we'll add in the tofu as well, and we're just trying to get these flavors going and started. Then we're going to add in that cube tofu, and you can add in any seasonings that you like. I keep it pretty simple. I just did salt, garlic powder, onion powder, and we're just going to let everything cook up for a few minutes, get the tofu a little browned, let all those flavors get going. If we just put this right into the filling, it would just get kind of soggy and wouldn't be as good. So that's why we want to give this a little bit of pre-cooking. Then we're going to sprinkle all-purpose flour over top and coat everything. This is going to help us to create like a thickened up sauce. So we're going to coat everything in the flour, make sure that the flours get kind of golden, and then we're going to add non-dairy milk slowly and mix it to kind of make a fake roux, because I didn't use that much fat in here, but it'll still do the same thing of just making it thick. And then I went in with some water as well and just mix that up. Do it slowly and make sure you mix it so that way everything gets clumpy. You just want to keep everything nice and smooth. And again, just doing this over a medium-low heat. It can be done very slowly. It's fine, doesn't need to be crazy. Then I have some broccoli florets, nutritional yeast, and vegan cheddar cheese. I am using Follow Your Heart. You can either use frozen or fresh broccoli. I'm using fresh, obviously, but if you use frozen, I would say microwave it and then squeeze out any excess water. And we're just gonna let this cook up until everything gets nice and thick over a low heat. It's gonna finish cooking in the oven. Then we're gonna make our pie dough. So I have all-purpose flour, and then I have sugar, salt. I have nice cold vegan butter. I stick this in the fridge for 15 minutes beforehand, cube it up, give another pulse, and then we'll just stream in ice cold water as well. And again, I stick the butter and the water right in the freezer, let it sit for like 15 minutes so it gets really nice and cold, make a nice flaky pie crust. Bring the dough out onto a clean counter that has a lot of flour on there, and we're just going to work the dough into a smooth little ball. If it feels sticky, don't worry, just keep adding a tablespoon or so of flour at a time. I ended up adding probably an extra 2 tablespoons of flour in the end. It's totally fine. If it's sticky, it's fine. We just add in flour. Then I divided the dough into 2/3, well, a third and then 2/3, like a smaller piece and a bigger piece. And I'm just going to shape it with my hand into another ball again, take that bigger piece, and then we will flatten it and start to roll it out. This is going to be the base of our pie crust. So I'm just taking my rolling pin, rolling it out into a nice big rectangle. I'm using a 9 by 11 inch pan, so I wanted to make sure it was big enough to coat the bottom of the pan and everything. And I'm just flouring this while I'm going, making sure nothing is sticking and nothing is clumping up, and roll it out, you know, pretty thin, about like, I don't even know, 1/8 of an inch thin. This is my pan. It's not dirty. Things just got burnt onto it, unfortunately. So I'm going to roll up the dough, and then I will drape it over the pan, and then I'll use my hands to just press everything in, seal it all in, and make sure everything is where it's supposed to be, and just have fun with it. I did spray it with some oil beforehand. Even though there's vegan butter in here, I always get nervous about things sticking. I'll then take a knife and cut off any overhang, make sure that I pick that up. And then any spots on top that seem to be like missing dough, I'll like make little patch jobs with, and then anything that's left I'll just put into the other piece of dough. So then this is ready to go. Our filling looks beautiful. Give it a taste, add in any seasonings again if you feel it needs more of anything, because this is your kind of your last chance. We're going to scoop that in to the pie crust. It's pretty thick and my pan was heavy, so I didn't want to just start pouring it in right away. I scooped a little bit, then I poured the rest in. Then I rolled out my other piece of dough, and then now we will put that piece of dough over top to make our nice little pot pie looking beautiful. And I decided not to do anything super fancy. I just kind of made all the edges line up. I pulled everything. I made sure everything was neat and even. And then all I did was put an X on top to vent. Definitely do something to give it ventilation. Otherwise you could risk the pie crust just ballooning up. And I just crimped the edges, and I don't know, I was feeling a square pot pie. I didn't want to do a traditional circle kind of thing. So I'm really happy with how this turned out. I just felt like it gave like a nice rustic vibe. That was what I wanted. But you can go crazy. I've done so many fun things with pot pies, making little pie stars and putting them on top, and you can make lattices. I mean, you could have so much fun with a pot pie. It's whatever you want to do. But I like this little crimped edges. Then I did non-dairy milk, about 3 tablespoons of turmeric, and I brushed that on top, kind of like a vegan egg wash, just to make sure it gets nice and golden, give color. You don't have to do this, but I do recommend that you do it. And then it goes in the oven 425 for 20 to 25 minutes, depending on your oven, till it turns nice and golden. And then it's it. You can let it sit for about 10 minutes to cool, and then slice it up into as many pieces as you want. I thought that 8 pieces made sense. I thought that was a nice serving size, so I'm just cutting it up. And always taking something out of a pan is never fun the first time, so we got rid of the first piece, and then you got to see the second piece because that looks better. And yeah, I put some fresh parsley on top, but I don't think this needs much in terms of garnishing. It's very delicious, very rustic, very cozy, very comforting. Next up, we're going to make some vegan lasagna soup. I'm sure you've seen this on the internet before, and I just wanted to share my version of it. So we're going to start off with a Vidalia onion, and I'm just going to give this a rough chop into little pieces. You don't have to be too specific about it. And the onion adds in so much nice flavor. You could also like do a shallot if you want, but an onion is really more traditional and what you should be using, in my opinion. And then we're also going to chop up some garlic, and like any good start to a soup, a sauce, anything, we're just going to saute these on the stove with some olive oil. I always use light olive oil. That's the olive oil I like to use, probably because it's what my mom uses, so I just like that. So saute, let it get fragrant. We're going to add in some vegan ground beef. I'm using Impossible. You can use Beyond. You can use lentils. You can use my homemade vegan ground beef recipe. You can leave out the vegan ground beef. I mean, there's so many options, but I'm using Impossible. I'm going to break it up with my knife, or not my knife, with my spatula until it turns nice and brown. Good to go. And then we're going to start to add in our liquid. We're going to add in 6 cups of water and 1 cup of tomato sauce. I am using the Rao's marinara sauce, and we're just going to let this cook up. It gets nice flavor, and it really is like the comfortingness of a lasagna just in a soup. I'm gonna add in some black pepper and salt to keep it flavorful but simple. Give it another mix up. And then we're going to break up our lasagna noodles. This is the only time I will tell you it's okay to break any pasta. So I have 5 pieces here, and I'm just breaking it into little pieces. The more pieces you break it into, the more lasagna there is. And also, because it's a soup, it's actually easier when the pieces are smaller. So then we're going to add that in there. Once it comes to a nice rolling boil, we'll add in some spinach for some greens. Give it a mix. Let the pasta cook 5 to 10 minutes until it's nice and soft. Add in some vegan cheese. I'm using vegan mozzarella from Follow Your Heart. And then once the pasta is soft, we are pretty much ready to go. So this soup comes together actually very quickly, much quicker than making a lasagna. And it's so delicious. So we will just plate it up, and you can add anything that you want on top of here. I made some tofu ricotta to go on top of it because I just felt like it needed that creaminess. So I put a nice dollop of that, and I did a little vegan parmesan. You could broil this in the oven with more vegan mozzarella on top if you wanted. I mean, there's a lot of ways to enjoy it, but this was so simple, so delicious, so cozy, perfect for those nights when you kind of want something a little bit, hearty, but you don't have a lot of time. This will come together very quickly, and it will be absolutely delicious. This is a recipe I've wanted to veganize for so long. It is originally called chicken Scarpariello. Obviously, we're going to make it with tofu and all the vegan stuff in there, and I'm really excited about it because I grew up eating this dish and it's so good. So first, we're just slicing up some little Yukon Gold potatoes, and this dish has everything in it. Literally, it is so good. It's sweet, it's tangy, it's spicy, it's savory, it's just amazing. And we used to eat this so much growing up. I would go to the restaurant with my grandpa, my uncle, my cousins. Like, this is just bringing back so much nostalgia for me, and I really wanted to veganize it for years. So we slice the potatoes up. We're going to add oil, garlic powder, onion powder, salt, paprika, and we're going to mix those up. Now, if you look at recipes online, some people may cook the potatoes later on, but I wanted to roast them ahead of time, give them some nice texture. So I'm going to add them onto a little sheet pan. This is an 1/8 of a sheet pan, which I have to say comes in handy so much. I'm so glad I bought 2 of these things. Make sure we get any oil from in there, and those go in the oven, 400 degrees Fahrenheit for like 25 minutes while we do everything else. Then we're going to start to sear up some vegan sausages. We're not going to cook these all the way through. We just want to get a nice searing on them. I'm using these ones from Beyond Meat. Really, you'd rather use a sweet or hot vegan sausage, but the pesto worked well here, and I'm using 3 sausages. I just felt like 4 was going to be a lot, so I just did 3. Then, while those were searing up, I cut up some bell pepper, so I'm just going to slice it, and super quick, easy done. Red bell pepper works best here. Now you need some cherry peppers. I have some fresh ones and I have some pickled ones. You can just use pickled, that's fine. Like these sliced cherry peppers here in brine, that's great, that's easy, do that. I just happen to have some fresh ones on hand that neighbors had brought me over from their garden, so I wanted to use it here as well. So I just sliced those up. And you can make this more or less spicy depending on how much cherry peppers you use. Now, we are going to slice up some onion. I just want to make it, cut a piece off of the Vidalia onion, cut it into thirds, and then I cut that in half just so I could have slices of onion in there, just those little pieces. And then we want garlic. We want about 10 cloves of garlic. This was the most annoying bulb of garlic. It had all those little, when they break it open and the clove then has like 2 little cloves, that's what this had. So I sat there and peeled everything annoyingly. You could see the vegan sausage is getting nice and browned up. Perfect. We're going to take that out, put it on a plate. Then in that same pan, we're going to add in more oil and we're going to go in with super firm tofu. I decided to break it up with my hands. I felt like that would be best. This dish is typically made with chicken thighs, so it usually comes out with these big chunks of chicken in there. And I thought this was kind of a good way to replace that. And I'm going to add some salt and we're just going to cook this on the stove, let everything get crispy. This is giving everything a chance to develop some outside texture. The last thing that we're going to do on the stove is make our little pan sauce. So I have vegan chicken broth. I'm using the Better Than bouillon. I have white wine vinegar and lemon juice. You can make this with white wine. I don't really drink white wine. I don't have it around the house, so I didn't feel like I should go out and buy it. We're just going to let this come to a simmer, about 5 minutes on the stove. While that's coming to a simmer, we are going to go and put everything on a sheet pan now. We're going to lay it all out, and even though this is like a sheet pan meal with some cooking ahead of time, it's so amazing. There's so much flavor that develops in the oven, and so much, like I said, sweetness, tanginess. It's amazing. The potatoes, it's your choice. You can now, after you've roasted them, you can just wait and put them in the final dish, but I wanted them to have the flavor of the sauce, so I put them on the sheet pan. And then we're going to add that amazing sauce, whatever you want to call it, brothy thing, over top. We're going to cover this with foil. This goes in the oven 375 for 35 minutes. Then you will remove the foil, and this goes back in for another 20 to 25 minutes. There's going to be a delicious sauce at the bottom of this pan, an amazing pan sauce. The flavor is going to be so incredible from the white wine vinegar, from the lemon, from the sweetness of all those vegetables in there. It's just amazing. And then we're going to add black pepper, salt, and lots of fresh chopped parsley. Give this a mix and you are done. And this came after we had bread, salad, pasta. But you had to eat it because it was so good. And the second I took a bite of it, it just hit me with so much nostalgia, and I'm so glad that I veganized this. So I hope you enjoy these cozy dinners. I hope these recipes helped you out. Let me know if you make them. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks for being here, and I'll see you soon with more videos. Bye.